Yes, good evening all. Welcome to the fourth session for Saturdays for Sustainability Learning, where we are taking almost around 45 minutes to 1 hour in a week to discuss sustainability issues, sustainability topics. So I'll take just 2 minutes to share with you what this initiative is about, and then we will start our session, today's session. So the goal of this mastermind group is to discuss sustainability issues in a systematic manner for holistic understanding. So these key terms are very important: systematic manner and holistic understanding, because sustainability is such a complex concept that everyone has different notion of sustainability. But what we are doing in this group is we are trying to understand sustainability in such a way that it can be applicable to different contexts with the same extent, I would say. So with this goal, this is a mastermind group, and if you don't know about it, I'm just sharing it on screen. So what we are visualizing here is this group to be a peer-to-peer mentoring group. This is a group of experts and seekers, I would say, who will try to understand the sustainability concept, who will help each other and learn from each other. And I always believe in the concept of synergy. And here on the right side, you can see two uh, two quotes from the book, that is from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, which talks about the mastermind group. And I hope our group also serves this purpose of creating a strong force for the better understanding of the sustainability issues. Okay, so with this introduction of mastermind group, let me just quickly share with you what are the outcomes that you can expect from these discussions. So first is we want to learn one new concept every week, because as you can agree with me that we don't have that much time. So ever we cannot read uh, 2 to 3 hours every day. That's not possible. So what we can do is we can learn at least 30 minutes for a week, and we can share our learnings in this session. That is, we are connecting 1 hour every week on Saturdays. Second, it is networking with the fellow professionals, which will concrete our understanding, and it will help us to learn from peers as well. Third, it's about career opportunities. So getting to know what are the opportunities are there in different geography, in different sector. And this group will serve as a medium for thought leadership. So sustainability or ESG is it is in developing or dynamic stage. So what we are doing here, we are trying to guide it. We are trying to make sure that the implementation, the acceptance of sustainability is wider, and everyone gets it in such a way that we are contributing towards betterment of our planet as well, right? So this is in short information about this initiative. And in the last 3 sessions, first session was about introduction to sustainability and what is view of our members about sustainability, sustainable development goals. Basically, it was just introduction to this initiative. In the second session, we started with what is ESG and why it is important in the first place, why environmental, social, and governance criteria are required, right? In the third, that is previous session, we discussed about, we took 2 reports and we tried to analyze it, we tried to understand the 2 reports. And this is the second session, I would say, with respect to the ESG reports. So today, I'll be sharing some more details about ESG reports, and that's how we can go ahead. And if you have any query, any concerns, so please do let me know. Okay. So yes, Manish. So we have our recording available for the previous sessions, and I'll post that message in our WhatsApp group. Okay, so you will get to see that. So for today's discussion, and don't worry, those who are joining for the first time today, don't worry. This is just a discussion. This is peer learning, so you don't have to worry about whether you know what happened in previous session. It's good to know, but if you don't know, that's not any issue. You can always ask, and as this is peer-to-peer learning, so it's better for us also. Whenever we are, let's say, explaining in second time or third time, it's get better, it gets refined. So don't worry. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Yes, wonderful. So what we will do to answer your question, Manish, as during our discussion you asked, there are multiple reports, multiple frameworks are there. So is there any solution? Is there any framework which has converged? If we talk about India, so we have one report, one framework, I would say, that is BRSR, which has been mandated by SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, in accordance or in collaboration with, I would say, MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So MCA is something which gives permit for the companies, right? So they have to share their financial report with MCA. And even as per Companies Act 2013, the CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. So they have to publish their report to MCA. In the same fashion, sustainability reports will also being reported to MCA as well. So this increases the seriousness of the sustainability reports. So today, let's try to understand first thing, which is SEBI has published guidelines how BRSR report should be published. So I hope my screen is visible, right? If you can quickly confirm.
Yes, yes, visible.
Perfect. So on the screen, you can see these are the guidelines issued by SEBI, that is Securities Exchange Board of India, business responsibility and sustainability reporting format. Okay, just a minute. I'll just connect my writing pad so that. Yes, perfect. So as you can see, this is the annexure, and in this report, you will see the format of BRSR. And what we will do, in last week, we have seen the report from Tata Steels, which was based on BRSR guidelines. So we will just quickly compare these two, the format and how it is being reported. So first, let's see the BRSR format. As you can see, the section A on the screen, which is general disclosures, and this is a mandatory. Okay. So as you can see on the screen, in general disclosures, first is the details of the listed entity. So what is their CIN number, the name of the organization, year of incorporation, registered office, corporate email, telephone, website, financial year for report, right? And then stock exchange where it is registered. So these are all about basic details, I would say. Then second sub topic is product or services. So details of business activities. So these should be accounting to 90% of the turnover. So the major activities, the major business activities are being reported here. So what kind of business that particular organization is in. Then product service sold by entity. So which are the products, which are the services that they are selling. Okay. And what is the percentage of total turnover. So this is, as you can see, this is a basic so this information will give us idea, okay, what is the basic, what is the organization, what it is doing, how they are earning their revenue, right? Then operations, in which location their plants are, how many offices are there. Then market served by entity, number of locations, national, international, as you can see, if there is any. Then count of employees, male percent, female percent, how many are permanent, how many are other than permanent, as you can see here. Okay, workers, how many permanent, how many other than permanent, so total it is there. Okay, again it is also asking person with disability, differently able employees and workers, so what is the percentage of PWDs as well. Participation, inclusion or representation of women, so how many women are there in board of directors and key management personnel, so that percentage also they have to report over here. Then this is a financial disclosure, so turnover, no sorry, what is this, turnover rate. Okay, yes, so if there is any joint ventures, then this is a CSR report. And as you can see here, as per section 135 of Companies Act 2013, corporate social responsibility. So there are three, I would say, guidelines or qualifying criteria: turnover, net worth, and their gross revenue. So if the company is eligible for CSR, it is mandatory for them. Okay, so they have to report over here where it is applicable, yes or no, what is their turnover, what is their net worth. Then transparency and disclosure compliances, if they have done or not, current financial year, previous financial year. So this is just reporting format. Just look what is being asked, and then we will see how it is being reported. Okay. Then overview of entities, material responsible business conduct issues. Okay. So material issue, if there is any material issue, whether it is opportunity or risk, indicate whether it is risk or opportunity. What is the rationale of identification it? So maybe the ideology or why they are thinking it, right? In case of risk, approach to adapt or mitigate, and financial implications of the risk. So this can be positive or this can be negative. Then this was about section A, which is compulsory. Then this is section B, and I guess this is voluntary. Okay. So this section is aimed at helping business demonstrate the structure, policies, and processes put in place towards adapting the NGRBC principles and core elements. Okay. So these are the national guidelines and responsible business conduct. These are total 9 principles. So we will also look at these 9 principles, and then we will get more clarity about this format. Okay. So here you can see the first is about policy and management process. We will see some of the questions and then we can go ahead. So as you can see about policy, whether your entity's policy or policies cover each principle and its core elements of NGRBC. So I guess we will need to look at NGRBCs, that is National Guidelines for Responsible Business Conduct. So we will check that. Okay, but here they are asking whether your policies are in accordance with these principles or not, whether that is approved by board or not. If yes, web link of the policy, they have to do it. It should be accessible to public. Okay. Then whether the entity has translated the policy into procedure. Do the enlisted policies extend to your value chain partners? Yes or no? Name of the national, international codes, certification, labels, standards. This is about sustainability standards. Okay, so Forest Stewardship Council, this is one of the largest organization. Then Fair Trade is there, Rainforest Alliance is there, Trustee is there. Then the standards are SA 8000. Okay, health and safety is there, so they have to also mention that. Then goal target by the entity, any timeline, and performance against these targets or goals. Then second, governance, leadership, and oversight. So as you can see, some of the questions, so it's just getting more clarity about these principles, so whether these are being followed or not. Okay. Yes. And section C, which is principle wise performance disclosure. So against each of the principle, they have given some questionnaire which will guide the thought process while writing this report. So for example, first principle is businesses should conduct and govern themselves with integrity and in a manner that is ethical, transparent, and accountable. So how do we achieve it? What are the essential indicators? So here they have given some of the questions. So first is percentage coverage by training and awareness programs on any of the principle during financial year. So whether that is there or not, right? Fine, penalty, punishment, award, fees, settlement amount. Okay, so about it for first principle. Okay. Anti-corruption, anti-bribery policy. So this is all about first principle. Then for second principle, it is yes. Kishore, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, great. So about second principle, as you can see, these are the questions. So this will guide the report, and this will ensure that different organizations reporting on this BRSR, they are similar, they are same, or it is apple to apple comparison. So there should not be something that companies can hide, right? So the malpractice should also be arrested, and at the same time this should be level playing field for all across sectors. So this is one of the great initiative, we can say, by giving this indicative overall in detail format. Okay, as you can see, so against each principle they have given these questions. So this is the format issued by SEBI, okay, for each of the principles. So let's see the principle and then we can appreciate the details and how the questions are formed and how helpful it is. Okay, so I'll just go to the end of the report, and as you can see, this is at the end you can see principle 9, which is the last principle, and based on that the questions which will give us clarity how the company is performing for this ninth principle. So this is all about the format, and let's see the report of Tata that we have seen last week also, but now with better understanding of BRSR framework, we will be able to appreciate how the ESG reports are being prepared. Okay, so on the screen you can see on June 12, 2023. So this report was published. This is BRS Business Report, Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report. Okay, for financial year 2022-2023. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, this is the report. This is introduction, and here what you can see, index, then section A, which is general disclosure. Okay, I'll get it white, just a minute. Yeah, so section A, general disclosure, then section B, that we have seen, management and process disclosure, and then section C, principal wise performance disclosure, the questionnaire that we have just recently seen. So these are the 9 principles that are there for with national guidelines that were issued. Okay. Yes, so as you can see on the screen, this is section A, general disclosures. As you can see on the screen, so details of the listed entity, which is Tata Steels, and all the details are reported here. Okay, so which are the plants that are in India, outside India. Okay. Yes, and statement of assurance. So we had discussed this last week. Okay, so statement of assurance is also there. So this is to ensure that all the data which is being reported in this particular ESG report, so that is authentic. Okay. Then as we have seen, so this is product and service details. So how this organization, how this company is earning their profit, what is their revenue source, all is mentioned over here. Percentage of turnover is also there. Okay, as you can see. Then operations, India, outside India, number of locations. Yes, a brief on type of customer. So as we can appreciate at the start of the report, so if we just read starting 2 to 3 pages, we will get all the understanding what this company is about, how they are delivering their value, and how they are earning their revenue, right? So everything we will get clarity. And at the same time, here you can see the number of employees, workers, male, female, percentage, person with disability will also reported over here. Okay. Yeah, and as the focus is on women participation, so they have written over here specifically that aims to employ 5% of women by 2027. Okay, so as you can see the targets, what they have done, and what is their intention to do it in the future as well. So what is their goals and targets they have mentioned. Then as you can see, differently able employees or person with disability, what is the percentage? Yes, women participation, as you can see. Okay. So I would like to ask you, as you are all senior, you have so much experience in the field. Just one question. So in the board of director of Tata, out of 10, you can see 2 are female. So women participation is around 20%. So how do you see with it with the other organizations, or what are your views on this? So it is high, it is low. Your comments, please, if you can share.
Mm.
I feel diversity in the board is a hype and is overstretched. The directors have a responsibility towards the shareholders. Yes, the number feels low, but I think it really depends on what sort of, maybe it's a factor of history too. It's a steel industry. Yes, we've had fewer women in the steel industry historically, and therefore it is only understandable that the board of directors has lower representation because, board of directors are supposed to provide directional guidance to the executive team. So Sticker, sticker wise, yes, the number is low, but reality wise, I think if the board is doing a good job, then it's also fair not to displace a man just for the purpose of diversity. But I know I digress in what I say.
Actually, you put forth one important point, that we also need to understand what kind of sector that organization is working, right? So with that consideration, yes, so I guess this is good number. What others say? And maybe when we compare the different reports from different sectors, then we will get more understanding of this,
Yeah,
right?
and one more thing, I think it may be useful to compare not only within India, steel companies like Jindal Steel or whoever else, right? But also globally to see,
Right.
is there a certain global benchmark? Because again, the world is probably ahead in terms of women representation in industries such as mining and steel, but in India, culturally, it may be different. So
Right.
should be willing to accept a certain number, but eventually, I hope they too, the BRSR, etc., also looks at it in terms of the merit and does not ding somebody like Tata for saying, oh, you have only 2 out of 10, because that is just not required, right?
Right. So we'll get more clarity down the line, right? Yes. But yeah, so we are now open to see whenever we see any report. So let's check what is their percentage, and maybe if you come across any interesting stat, any interesting points, so do let us know in next sessions. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is turnover rate, so which is also called as attrition rate, right? So this is for the financial year 2022-23, so it's 7.4%. For female, it is being somewhat higher. Okay. Yeah. So due to COVID, I guess for 2020-21, the attrition rate was lower. That might be the reason. Yeah. Yeah. So if they have any joint venture, so as we have seen the format, so I'll just scroll down report, and then you can see which are the points from the format and how it is being reported. So this is CSR details. Okay. Transparency and disclosure compliances. Okay. So how they are addressing their complaints, then for employees and workers, for customers, value chain partners. Wow. Yeah. So material responsible business conduct issues, risk and opportunity. Yeah, so related to environment, greenhouse gas emission and climate change management. Under that, risk and opportunity, what they've given. So I'll just read first point so that we will get somewhat clarity what is being reported. A significant part of Tata Steel's production is through the blast furnace route, which is a emission intensive process and contributes toward global warming. Tata Steel has committed to target of net zero by 2045, and transition to low carbon steel making is critical for the long term success of the company. Yeah. So what I'm unable to see here is, just a minute. So here they are not giving it whether that is risk or opportunity, or they are considering risk or opportunity both as a combined term. What I was thinking, whether they will say it is a risk or it is opportunity. I guess this is risk or opportunity, same thing, right? If you can comment, Mrityunjay, anyone, if you want to comment.
I can comment. I think generally what happens is many of these companies will, at least I'll tell you about some of the companies I've worked with, they'll just club it broadly as a risk and opportunity bucket without necessarily, and it doesn't mean that they are viewing it as a risk or as an opportunity. They're just saying the RNO bucket is this.
Right.
So you see what I'm trying to say now, because they don't want to draw too much attention into it. Otherwise, we need to have more than one risks. There are many risks to the business, right? There are many risks to the GHG emissions. They will have to start listing at least 2 or 3. So I think I find it easier to just put one big blob and say RNO is, this is what we've committed. I mean, honestly, if you look at it, this is really not even, this is a target. This is not even an RNO, if you really think about it, right?
Right. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for putting your point. Yeah. Okay. So this is about first, then they have given for circular economy. So which is also very dear to me, because I find circular economy is something which is practically applicable to organizations. Means maybe sustainability might be the abstract concept, or when we come to implementation phase, I guess circular economy is something is more practical when we discuss sustainability. So yeah, this is okay. So as you can see over here, circular economy, they have only given here opportunity. Okay. For water consumption, they have given only risk. Okay. Energy efficiency, energy management, this is opportunity.
So then maybe, Dhananjay, if we go back to that RNO, if we read it a little more carefully, because as you were scrolling, I read it a little bit more. See this here. They're saying maybe the risk is that the fact is they have an emission intensive process, right? That is the risk. But they yet state that they have set a target for net zero by 2045, right? And it is critical. So they may be acknowledging that the target is a hard one to achieve, given net zero doesn't come at a zero cost, right? It is going to be expensive. So they are fair in saying it is a risk and an opportunity in that sense.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. So in this way, they have reported. Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I forgot to mention. So financial implications are also given. Okay. Negative or positive. Yeah. Then air pollution, it's a risk, of course. Financial implications is negative. Biodiversity, yes, negative. Yeah. What is a positive? Right. So let's take this one example: research and development, technology, product and process innovation. So if we are having more of this point, maybe more research, more technology, more innovation, this is an opportunity which will have positive financial implications. More the innovation, more the technology, better for the organization or better in terms of revenue, financial health of the organization. Yeah. Yes. So let's just fast forward and let's go to section B, which is management and process disclosure, which is based on NGRBC principles and core elements. Okay. Yeah. So they have given this matrix, which are the Tata Steel policies in compliance with the 9 principles. So they have given which policy is following which of the principles or fulfilling which of the principles, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, this gives better understanding. Yeah. And then policy and management processes and web link of the policies if available. So that is also given. So what we will do, let's check this also if possible. Okay, somehow it is.
Sorry, can I ask a general question?
Yeah, please.
Maybe others have comments too. See, this corruption, diversity, corporate social responsibility have been factors that have been running for a very, very long time, right? And I'm sure companies that were intending to do right have started doing right. Sure, there'll always be a long tail of companies that want to take their time. However, looking at environment specifically, I wonder what everybody feels when ESG becomes ESG and is not just environment and sustainability focused. You see what I'm trying to say? Meaning,
Right.
why dilute this message with diversity, with corruption? Honestly, human beings are, when they get power, you will never be able to root out corruption. So why are you trying to solve that? Instead, sustainability and climate change is the need of the hour. If they had made a standard that was purely focused on that, the emphasis would have been clearer. I don't know what others think. It's just a personal opinion.
All right. Anybody would like to comment on this? It's interesting question, I must say. Yes.
So, Manish, what you try to point, it means the social part of the ESG, right? That may not be that critical, is it? What you try to say?
No, what I'll just reiterate the question. Okay.
Please, go ahead.
Manish, you can tell me if I'm conveying it in correct way or not. So what Manish is asking is, there have been multiple reporting formats on, let's say, social, which is CSR, corporate social responsibility, or about governance, so anti-bribery policies or whistleblower policies. So this has been followed since decades, I would say. But with specific to the environment, there has not been so much focus. So while we are discussing ESG reports, so why not make it more focus on the environment, which is not being taken care of, while others, the social or the governance part, has already been taken care of. So aren't we diluting the focus on environment? So that is what you are asking, right?
Perfect.
Yes. Okay, great.
Got it.
Mrutyunjay, we would like to hear your views on this as well.
The question is, means I'm also thinking like, means it will be customary or really people will be following it up. Means time will say. I'll say like, means I'll just take back to the point what he was telling, like those who do religiously they will follow, but otherwise I don't know, it will be just a tick mark item.
All right.
As a compulsory karna padega, like now we have the HR policies, let's say, or this ethics policy or the CSR committee. These are namesake. What is the CSR committee is doing? Like only the CSR or the sustainability person or the, that's all, and the director or someone will be there. That's all. Just that you see in the report only, the names only. Practically, some meeting has happened. No, we'll see some date will be written in the report. That's all. So
see, that's my point.
very relevant question.
Yeah, sorry, finish. I just wanted to say that's almost exactly my point, which is
yes,
you give
yes. Correct. So I mean, what I'm saying is there is
questions.
no answer to your question. So I'm just
I
beating
understand.
down the bush.
Totally. What I'm trying to say is to give somebody 150 questions and expect quality of response on 50 of them which are sustainability or climate change related, versus giving them just a 50 questions, you know. I wonder why the policymakers do this. ESG sounds great, but can we just talk about climate change and be done with it, right? I mean, in the sense.
Correct. Policymakers and the people, those are like means like basically the consultant or the WRA. I think majorly those people are only controlling the thing. That just I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody would like to comment on this question? Yes, Pavlesh, you want to say
Manish,
something?
like when we're talking about environment, right? But basically now, like government, I'm not sure about India, but like in Singapore, right? We already start implementing carbon tax, right? So every industry have to, when they report the carbon footprint, right? Then if they didn't meet the requirement, they have to pay some dollars per ton or something like that.
Right.
So this is now being a norm, right? Going to be enforce them to make sure environment also taken care.
Right.
Yes, and I'm agreeable with that, Pavlesh. I think my question was, why dilute it, like Dhananjay so aptly put it, why dilute it by asking 100 other questions when really the incremental questions are 50 related to environment and carbon emissions or greenhouse emissions. Anyway, it's a rhetorical point. None of us can maybe answer it because the policymakers have done, but it's worth thinking. Why?
Yeah, I have one answer for this.
Please go ahead.
I'm not sure whether it is perfectly right or not, correct or not, but with the understanding of sustainability, so I will try to answer this question. What I see this is when there are three pillars of sustainability, right? Environmental, social, and economic, correct? So what is happening, you know, so earlier the only focus was about economic, then after some time, some decades, the social also came, and then environment, which is lagging behind. So your question is that already these other factors are taken care, then why we should also include it in ESG report? But this is important and we have to include it. The reason being, we cannot only focus on one pillar. So let's say environment. If we do that, there are unintended consequences. So how? Let's say if there is no governance system over there, so in that case, let's say there is no whistleblower policy. Okay, there is no checklist of preparing proper committee. Okay, so management committee is not that much, right? No one is checking that. In that case, you will not be able to implement the environmental policies rightly. There may be more chances of malpractice if that is a private organization owned by one particular person. Then whatever he want to do, he can do it. That is a possibility. But when we are including all these three aspects into it, then it becomes somewhat credible and a proper solution can be implemented. There is one possibility. So I guess this is important to include both the all three aspects into it.
And actually, I mean, I have a hypothesis too. You bring up a very good point that there are three pillars to sustainability: economic, social, and environmental. And the fact is that if you want to solve the environmental thing, if you don't want illegal loggers going into the forests and chopping down trees, you need to solve their problems of earning a livelihood differently, right?
Right.
So I agree. I mean, it's like I said, it's more a rhetorical question worth everybody thinking, but I think there's always a logic for why these things happen.
Yeah, and other thought is also like means to just countering you, Dhananjay. Like for example, yes, from governance point of view, you have corporate governance point of view, lot of things or has been mandated for the companies to do, right? Now from economics point of view, we have everything like audit, financial audit happens, everything checks and balances people do. So why not reference to that? That's it. Why to again, like if you see almost everything they will be writing, okay, as per that, refer to that annexer, right? Or those report which is already published. So जिसको चाहिए वो जाके वहां पढ़ लो ना, भाई इसमें फिर घुमाने के लिए लाइक
हाँ, यहाँ पे इंटरेस्टिंग ये है पॉइंट मृत्युंजय, आपका भी पॉइंट सही है, बट देखिए अगर आप जो बोल रहे हो कि 2 जगह पे अलग अलग रिपोर्टिंग हो रहा है या अलग अलग स्टोर हो रहा है, सो दैट इज मेकिंग अस डिफिकल्ट टू स्टडी इट और टू रिट्राइव दिस टू डेटा. कंपनी बोलेगा कि ठीक है हमारे वेबसाइट पे है, आप यहाँ जाके देखो, सेकंड लिंक देगा यहाँ जाके देखो, बट दोनों भी देखने के लिए या स्टडी करने के लिए हमारा एफर्ट, हमारा टाइम, इट इज डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस. So I guess what government is doing, and over the period of time, maybe next 5 years, 10 years, there will be only one report, maybe there will be only ESG report, sustainability report, और बाकी जो है तो उसमें उनको either discount दिया जाएगा या major focus will be on this only one report.
Then it's good. इसलिए बिग फोर सारे यहाँ घूम रहे हैं इसलिए.
Right. So
Dhananjay, I also want to correct you that globally there are 5 to 6 pillars of this sustainability. Like that, first is your environment, then climate change, health and safety, social, yes, and yes, business responsibility. These are the 5 globally main pillars of the sustainability. As you know, I was the reviewer for this sustainability scheme in one of the CB. So I also want to share with some data regarding that environmental module. So
please,
what should be that organization should we need to do regarding to environment module? So after your this presentation, complete this presentation, I will share my screen and I will आप लोग यानी सस्टेनेबिलिटी में एनवायरमेंटल मॉडल के लिए क्या क्या डाटा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास चाहिए, तो आई विल शो यू दैट वन ऑफ द माय एक्सेल फाइल टू यू.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just take 2 minutes and we'll just finish this report. Okay.
Yes.
So the point is not we will read each and every point. Just try to understand what this report is representing. Okay. So I'll just fast forward.
वहाँ पे ऊपर में उन्होंने उनके ISO सर्टिफिकेशंस भी कौन कौन से वो भी दिया है डाटा इसमें ऊपर.
Yes. आप ऊपर बोल रहे हो राइट, इन द फर्स्ट कैटेगरी राइट?
नहीं ऊपर में नहीं, अभी
जनरल डिस्क्लोजर में ही दिया है राइट?
हाँ यस.
एक मिनट. और व्हाट वी कैन डू, इस फॉर्मेट में हम देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे हमें जल्दी से मिल जाएगा.
तो जस्ट कंट्रोल F करके ISO टाइप करो तो आ जाएगा.
हाँ.
no.
ISO तो नहीं है इसमें.
I saw 14,001 somewhere written just now. Okay.
हाँ yes, और 45,000 also. No, put only 14,001. हाँ yes. Put only हाँ enter.
नहीं इसमें सर्च नहीं हो रहा है. एक मिनट यहाँ पे देखते हैं. ठीक है, कहाँ पे देखना पड़ेगा?
नहीं वो ये डाटा दिया है, मैं ओनली वही बताना चाहता था कि ये टाटा स्टील के पास कौन से सर्टिफिकेशन उन्होंने लिए हैं सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए. हाँ तो उन्होंने वो ISO 14,001, ISO 45,001 वो डिटेल्स सब दिया है उसमें.
अच्छा, okay. So yeah, so what I'll do, I'll hand over this session to you, and meanwhile I'll also check that, and if I could get it after your presentation, I can share that.
Yes.
So Kishore ji, last week only he agreed to share us the detail, the checklist, how companies are measuring sustainability. So over to you, Kishore ji, and thank you so much for preparing this, taking your time for this. Please.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I'm sharing my screen now. Let me know if it visible.
We cannot see it.
Yes, you can share now. Yeah.
Is it now visible?
No.
Not yet. No.
Just a minute.
You need to click on share screen and then you need to select which screen you want to share.
Just a minute. I am once again sharing my screen.
Sure.
Now?
Yes, it's visible. Yeah.
Yes, yes. As all we know, what is the sustainability? Sustainability is a content of the various modules, that health and safety modules, environmental module, social modules, means the data regarding the your climate change, also environment related, also business related, also business reporting also. Today I am sharing that what should be that organization need to do to achieve this in environmental module. एनवायरमेंटल डाटा क्या क्या होना चाहिए सस्टेनेबिलिटी रिपोर्टिंग के लिए, ये मैं प्रेजेंट करता हूँ. फर्स्ट इज, डज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैव ए एनवायरमेंटल पॉलिसी? तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास एनवायरमेंटल पॉलिसी है कि नहीं, ये भी एक अपने को देखना है कि उसके पास एनवायरमेंटल पॉलिसी है कि नहीं. देन कैसा कि अभी वो जो अपन ने टाटा स्टील का जो रिपोर्ट देखा, तो उन्होंने भी वो बहुत सारा दिया था कि उनके पास कौन कौन सी पॉलिसी है. विसल ब्लोइंग पॉलिसी है, सोशल पॉलिसी है, हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी पॉलिसी है, लाइक दैट. Then next is the environment policy effectively communicated to the all employees through the methods such as the employment contract, employee manual, newsletter, intranet, website, employee training, etc. Yes, environmental policy जो है वो employees को कैसे communicate किया गया है, that also need to share in this report. Then next is, has the organization established a channels for the employees to provide their feedback and complaints on the environmental topics, such as the union representative, employees committee, suggestion box, phone hotline, etc. Then next is, does the organization have a legal permit, licenses, registrations related to the environment and pollution limitations? Then next is, does the organization provide training to the relevant employees on its environmental systems and procedures? Then next is there procedure or the instruction related to the environmental emergency preparedness? मीन्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जो कुछ भी इन्वायरमेंटल इमरजेंसी आता है, तो उसके अगेंस्ट उन्होंने वो जो प्रोसीजर है वो डॉक्यूमेंटेड किया है कि नहीं. दिस इज आल्सो वन ऑफ दिस रिक्वायरमेंट इन योर दैट सस्टेनेबिलिटी मॉड्यूल. Then next is, does the organization integrate the environmental calculation into the design tools in order to promote the eco designs? Means in your design, select the parameters, that life cycle parameters also considered while designing your product. Yes. Then next is, has the organization established an analysis of toxicity of humans of these products? Means that product is not harmful to the anybody, human. Then next is regarding the materials and the waste management. Does the organization have a specific policy regarding the materials and the waste management?
So किशोर जी, जस्ट आपको मैं थोड़ा सा बीच में रोक रहा हूँ. हमें ना ये थोड़ा सा आप बताइए कि अभी ये जो चेकलिस्ट आपके पास है, तो एज अ ऑडिटर जब आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में ऑडिट के लिए जाते थे, राइट?
हाँ, यस यस.
तो आपका प्रोसेस कैसा होता था, और इस किसी भी एक पॉइंट को आप अगर ये एक्सप्लेन कर पाए कि आप ये कैसे वहां पे चेक करते थे, हाउ यू यूज्ड टू चेक इट?
या वो लोग हमको डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंसेस प्रोवाइड करते थे आपके. यदि उनके पास एनवायरमेंटल पॉलिसी रहता था तो हम लोग वो वेरीफाई एंड रिव्यू करते थे व्हाट आर द पैरामीटर्स दे हैव कंसिडर्ड इन दिस देयर पॉलिसी, सो अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोग रिव्यू करते थे कि और उसको मार्क्स प्रोवाइड करते थे, करते हैं यानी।
और मार्किंग सिस्टम कैसे होती है इसकी?
It is total 100 out of something like that. For each question giving 1 marks. So इसके कारण उनको पता चल जाता था कि क्या क्या उनमें कमियां है. So what are the improvements that organization should need. तो उनको क्या क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट करना है वो उनको ये रिपोर्ट से पता चल जाता था. तो ये सब जो अभी जो ये BRSR या बिग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए जो लगने वाला है, तो these are the these topics. Yes. Yes. Does the organization have annual quantitative targets regarding the materials and waste management? Like plastic wastage in a particular organization, like 10 tons. Now they can select next year target to reduce the plastic wastage that it 8 ton to 9 ton or like that.
Right.
Then next is organization monitoring key performance indicator regarding the waste management or not annually.
Right.
This is also needed for the sustainability. Does the organization track input material and output waste for the production and operations? Yes.
Right.
Yes. Also, does the organization apply 3R rule that reduce, reuse and recycle principle in its material and waste management? Most of the organizations में अभी ये स्टार्ट हो गया प्रोसीजर कि जैसे प्लास्टिक है वो लोग रिसाइकल करते हैं एंड देन उसको भी यूज करते हैं. अदरवाइज जो भी वेस्टेज प्लास्टिक है जो भी रिसाइकलेबल है वो उनके प्रोडक्ट में भी यूज करने लग गए हैं.
Right.
Then next is has the organization developed and implemented waste handling and disposal procedure? आपका जो भी वेस्ट हैंडलिंग एंड डिस्पोजल का जो भी प्रोसीजर है वो भी डॉक्यूमेंटेड होना चाहिए. देन हाउ यू आर हैंडलिंग वेस्ट डिस्पोजल. यस.
और मुझे लगता है वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट का हमारा आई गेस 2016 या 2018 में मुझे लगता है गवर्नमेंट का ये आया था रूल्स.
हाँ, यस, इट इज अ हजार्डस वेस्ट रूल, यस, इन इंडिया.
राइट.
हाँ.
तो वो भी आप देख रहे हो कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में स्ट्रिक्टली फॉलो हो रहा है या?
हाँ, यस करते हैं लोग को. उनका वो जो ईटीपी स्लज रहता है तो वो भी लोग डिस्पोज करते हैं. जो भी हजार्डस वेस्ट रहता है लाइक ऑयल्स और कॉटन वेस्ट वो प्रॉपरली जो भी ऑथोराइज्ड बॉडी रहती है वो उनके पास डिस्पोज करते हैं. सो
अगर कोई नहीं करता है तो उस पे क्या एक्शन होती है?
नो
अगर
तो
कंप्लायंस नहीं है
उसमें सरजीत उसमें नहीं हुआ है तो उसका फॉर्म 4 एंड फॉर्म 5 है. Form 4 it is where you have to, there is a 2 categories. One is the generator and another one is the receiver. Receiver also be they are providing from which company they have taken the waste for co-processing purpose. For example, cement industry is there. They are taking the farmers waste to the co-processing purpose. Like if you have any calorifical, for example, our company, we are sending the like off-specification or spent carbon or leftover tablets and capsules and spent solvent. We are sending to the cement industries. They are using as an alternative fuel. They are mixing with the coal for best calorific value purpose. So their cement industry also they submitted their from which company they are taken on daily basis. Like monthly report is there one.
Okay. और ये CPCB को जाता होगा ना?
State PCB will be monitoring.
अच्छा.
State PCB will monitor if any deviations are there from the manufacturer or the generator or receiver.
Okay.
So they give a mail and they will circulate. These are the differences.
यस धनंजय जी, इनको है ना ये फिर पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बॉडी जो भी रीजनल बॉडीज है वो फाइन करती है, उनका कंप्लायंस नहीं हुआ तो हजार्डस वेस्ट रिटर्न उन्होंने फाइल नहीं किया, उनका एनवायरमेंटल स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने सबमिट नहीं किया, तो वो ये
वो भी they are from the renewal time they have to collect the data, and also for the disposal side they are arranging one camera for online monitoring purpose. That is an online continuous emission monitoring system. They are arranged. So they will continuously monitoring.
yes, okay.
That's
Emissions.
Yes. Now Manish ji is a new joiner today. Manish ji, Hindi is okay with you, na?
Yeah, I'm okay. Can I ask one or two questions, please? Sorry.
Yes, please.
Yes.
First question is, these are all worded as yes and no questions. So how do you really differentiate? Are we only checking whether companies have it or not, and we're really not checking who is best in class and who is not so much best in class?
नहीं, कंपनीज कैसा है कि हमको डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंसेस प्रोवाइड करती है. यदि सपोज दे आए मॉनिटरिंग द केपीआईज मींस वेस्टेज रिडक्शन, तो वो हमको डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंसेस प्रोवाइड करती है. अकॉर्डिंगली हम लोग उनको मार्क्स देते हैं, तो इस टाइप का रहता है. यानी डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंस हम ये करते हैं.
Understand. So what you are saying is कि ये जो आंसर है इनका आंसर yes and no नहीं होता है, इनका आंसर कोई स्कोर भी होता है, 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
हाँ, yes.
Okay.
It is a total 100 marks question.
Okay. And second question I have is ये जो questionnaire है, how this is an audit questionnaire, so how different are some of these questionnaires from say the other frameworks that exist in terms of disclosing ESG readiness or जो companies खुद से अपने आप से लिखती हैं?
नहीं समझा नहीं क्वेश्चन.
Maybe let me take an extreme case. ये जो BRSR फॉर्म देख रहे थे हम, BRSR फॉर्म देख रहे थे.
हाँ, yes.
अगर हम कोई GRI का फॉर्म देखें, कि okay, I want you to answer these following 150 questions. So my question is, how different are some of these questions from some of the other questions, or broadly will you say that all of these questions are aligned and they are similar?
Yes, नहीं मनीष जी, ये जो क्वेश्चंस है ना, दीज आर द बेसिक क्वेश्चंस, और यही जो डाटा है वो BRSR में आता है. तो दिस इज ए बेसिक प्रिपरेशन फॉर दैट योर BRSR.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And BRSR आपको ये टेम्पलेट देता है कि ये आप लोग अपने एक्सपीरियंस से बनाते हो?
नहीं, ये मेरे एक्सपीरियंस से मैंने बनाया. ये जो शीट जो BRSR में जो लगता है ना डाटा, तो ये यस. तो ये जो चेक पॉइंट्स है ना, ये होने चाहिए. देन नेक्स्ट इज रिगार्डिंग द डज द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हैव स्पेसिफिक पॉलिसी रिगार्डिंग द वाटर मैनेजमेंट. वो टाटा के रिपोर्ट में भी आपने देखा कि उन्होंने वो वाटर मैनेजमेंट का ये दिया था, वाटर कंजम्पशन, एनर्जी कंजम्पशन. तो कैसा है कि ये सब बेसिक सब क्वेश्चंस है फॉर दैट BRSR रिपोर्ट्स. Yes, also then if the organization monitors key performance regarding the water management, means water consumption, how much water is used for the processing, how much water is used for your drinking. So ये जो है ये भी उन लोगों को उसमें ट्रैक करना है. तो ये ट्रैक करते तो this data will also helpful in your BRSR report. Then does the organization monitor its water consumption? Does the water reduction procedure in place? ये yes. कैसा कि अभी बहुत सारे लोग वो ETP का जो पानी है वो गार्डनिंग को यूज करते हैं. तो यस, दिस इज अ वाटर रिडक्शन. सो ऐसे दिस आर द इनिशिएटिव्स. ये इनिशिएटिव जो है ना, ये आपके सस्टेनेबिलिटी रिपोर्ट में आना चाहिए, सो दैट गवर्नमेंट विल द हैप्पी. तो ऐसा है यानी.
राइट.
यस. Then next is regarding the air emission. Does the organization have specific policy regarding the air emissions? That is like that carbon footprint, carbon emissions. Does the organization have annual KPI targets regarding the that non-GHG emissions? If applicable, does the organization obtain a legal permit regarding the एयर इमिशंस? अभी कैसा है वो पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड के लिए भी अपने को एम्बिएंट एयर मॉनिटरिंग करता है, तो वो एक कंप्लायंस हो जाता है कि आप लोग लीगल यानी फॉलो कर रहे हो, लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट्स फॉलो कर रहे हैं ऐसा. Then next is that the organization monitor quantity and quality of air emission. यानी आप जो एयर पोल्यूशन यानी आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो भी एयर पोल्यूशन हो रहा है तो उसमें से कौन कौन से गैसेस निकलता है, ये भी कोई तो एक कॉम्पिटेंट ऑथोराइज एजेंसी रहती है तो वो ये भी चेक करके देती है, तो ये भी रिपोर्ट अपने पास होना चाहिए. देन उसका जो रिस्क असेसमेंट, अभी आपने देखा कि वो टाटा के स्टील में रिस्क असेसमेंट दिया था, उन लोगों ने रिस्क एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज दिया था, है ना धनंजय जी?
राइट.
हाँ, तो वो भी इस रिगार्डिंग तो एनवायरमेंट मॉड्यूल आपको वो भी एनालाइज करके रखना है, सो दैट आप वो डाटा उसमें ये कर सकते हैं रिपोर्ट में. सो दीज आर ऑल द बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स रिक्वायर्ड इन दैट योर BRSR reports. So yes, now yes, over to Dhananjay. If you have any question, you can ask.
Yes, thank you so much किशोर जी. जस्ट ना मुझे एक इस पे कमेंट करना था, आप थोड़ा सा ऊपर ले जा सकते हैं फर्स्ट पैरामीटर में ही.
हाँ, यस.
हाँ, इसमें था रो नंबर 8 यू कैन सी, is there a procedure or instruction related to environmental emergency preparedness? So just इसका ना एक केस स्टोरी मैं आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. So I guess you all know about Bhopal gas tragedy 1984. So in that case the company's name was I guess Union Carbide or something like that, the name of the organization, and methyl isocyanate, it was a fertilizer company, and this deadly gas was released, and at that time the company was not having any emergency preparedness. So their alarms didn't work, they hadn't have any idea about what they need to do, and due to which thousands of people died. So after that it was very big issue at international level as well. So I feel this is very important and essential point to consider for organizations. So just I remember that, so I thought it's good to share with you.
Yes, correct. I agree with you. Yes.
Scroll down once, that नीचे वाला water का, what was that?
Yes, water का. Yes.
Yeah. So here also like means on the treatment front, like for example, like I was thinking like means जो check जो हो रहा है like chemical all these things जो scientific वो क्या means already उनका तो लिखा होगा ना, like for example some outside कुछ करते हो वो document आप देखते हैं और वो
नहीं, हम लोग है ना इसका जो है ना हम लोग टेस्टिंग रिपोर्ट देखते हैं. इसमें उसका जो pH है और ड्रिंकिंग वाटर में कैसा है उसका जो अभी 2 इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर्स दैट ई कोलाई और कोलीफॉर्म. अभी ये ना ये मैंडेटरी कर दिया है गवर्नमेंट ने कि ये ड्रिंकिंग वाटर रिपोर्ट के टेस्टिंग में आपके ये आना ही आना है. वैसे आपका जो ETP का जो वाटर रहता है तो उसमें आपका COD BOD कंटेंट कितना है, तो एज पर गवर्नमेंट लीगल रिक्वायरमेंट है कि नहीं, ये लोग हम उसमें वेरीफाई करते हैं ऐसा. तो ये सब आपके पास है तो आप सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए रेडी हो. ये दीज आर द ऑल बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स फॉर द एनवायरनमेंट, ओनली एनवायरनमेंट. नेक्स्ट टाइम आई विल प्रोवाइड यू रिगार्डिंग द हेल्थ एंड सेफ्टी और द social regarding.
Sure, thank you.
Looking forward to it. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Dhananjay ji, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much. So let me just quickly share what we were discussing. So so these are the certification standards that Tata Group has reported. As you can see on the screen, Tata Steel supports, adopt and compiles the multiple domestic and international standards as relevant. Some key certifications are listed below. So you can see ISO 14001 is there, ISO 14001, OHSS 18001. Then you can see SA 8000 is also there.
Yes, SA 8000, this is for the social.
Yes.
ये कैसा, ये ग्लोबली है इनका, तो ये प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं कि हम लोग सब सस्टेनेबिलिटी के जो भी मॉड्यूल्स है वो कंप्लाई कर रहे हैं, ये सर्टिफिकेशंस उनके पास है, तो कि उनका कहना है कि हम सस्टेनेबल है ऐसा. यस,
राइट. मतलब बहुत सारे रिपोर्ट, बहुत सारे स्टैंडर्ड्स आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो. ISO 27001 is also there, 9001
yes, this is like IT system, ISO 20027.
देन यहाँ पे इन्होंने TCFD का भी दिया है, टास्क फोर्स ऑन क्लाइमेट रिलेटेड फाइनेंशियल डिस्क्लोजर्स. So they have Tata Steel has adopted the recommendations of the TCFD and published a climate change report aligned with TCFD also. Then अच्छा, स्टील के रिलेटेड ये कुछ स्टैंडर्ड्स है, सर्टिफिकेशन है, तो उनको भी उन्होंने फॉलो किया है.
Then, can I put one request? So there's lots of these different standards and disclosures and frameworks. क्या एक clarification हो सकता है कि what is the difference between, say, GHG protocol versus CDP GRI frameworks versus TCFD, again, financial disclosures. So I have a point of view, but I think the terms are so many, it's very easy for somebody to get confused. And then in India, of course, you have the BRSR. So somewhere, if we can do some simplification to say these are the right terms to use in the right context, may help.
Yeah, sure. So this is an interesting suggestion for maybe next week. Okay, we'll do it. But इसमें ना एक मेरा point of view जो है, so we should not be confused about it, because what we can do is BRSR is something that is the most evolved, I would say, and at the same time on the international level, GRI, and which is also again one, I forgot the name, but that is something that will be finalized, which is a combination of all TCFD and GRI and all the other carbon disclosures. So all it is, so only one international standard will be there. So we can discuss that maybe next week, and we have aligned one expert. He is very senior into GRI, social accounting, and I'm sure if he can guide us on all these topics, so that will be great.
That will be useful. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so yes, so that's it for this week, and already we have crossed.
So I
10 minutes.
other questions. Sorry, can we quickly ask them?
Yeah, please.
BRSR is mandatory for all companies or only for certain industries in India?
Okay, so it's not about certain industries. So BRSR is mandated for top 250 companies as per market capitalization, listed companies. So I guess 250 have been communicated to compulsorily published by this financial year. Okay.
Got it. Because that's the GDP production, etc., for the country, and that will help the country take care of its emissions. Maybe that's the thought process. Okay, fair enough.
So Dhananjay, could you please provide that the list of that 250 companies? Which are that companies? Is it a
Sure. I'll check. Yeah, I'm just writing down this point.
Yes.
Then I was just trying to figure out the BRSR aligns best to which of the global frameworks. Is it more the GRI? Is it more the CDP? I think it may be the GRI, but it's just useful to know or get some confirmation on that. And then I think you already answered, I think during the report, right, that PwC audits the BRSR form that, or Tata's report, right? So there is some validation and audit that's done at the end, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. I think
so what I'll do, I'll just share just quickly, just 2 minutes. Okay. So what you were saying, so maybe this report, by Deloitte. I guess that will be helpful to clarify your point. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay. So we had discussed this in our last session. So maybe I guess second session. I hope my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is one of the latest report. Okay. The report is published by Deloitte in May 2023. So just 2 months back. And in this, they have tried to clarify all the different standards and frameworks. Okay. So on the basis, as you can see, SASB is there, or integrated reporting is there, CDP is there, which converge into CDSB. Then these two converge into VRF, that is Value Reporting Foundation. Then that two combine into IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standard, which is again combining into ISSB, that is International Sustainability Standard Board, and which is the most advanced and which will be finalized to report the organization's sustainability report. And this includes TCFD as well. So TCFD influences ISSB, and GRI also complements it. So most of the companies, the number of companies which are following GRI is more, and that's why it is difficult as of now to balance this. So how to go ahead? But the discussions are going on this topic, and maybe by the year 2023 ends, so we will have some clear-cut understanding at the international level whether ISSB will be followed or GRI will be followed. So these are in the discussion. So I hope this helps.
Yeah, no, that helps, but it also muddies the water a little bit for me, because if you go to the CDP page, they will show you how they are almost the leading convergence framework for everybody to report, and many large companies have reported on the CDP framework. They have about 13K companies reported on CDP, and GRI has about 10,000 companies. So in terms of numbers, CDP reporting seems marginally higher than GRI. But again, it's very, very confusing, because I can see here that you're saying CDP will actually be superseded maybe by CDSB, but there's no mention of that on the CDP page, right? So yeah, I think getting an expert in the room to sort of, and I'm not saying you folks are not experts, you clearly are, but I'm just saying having more people in the room to discuss, and somebody who's very clear on how this is, because my one thought is, if a company needs to embark on its journey today and say, how should I firstly measure my footprint? Then second, how do I report my footprint? Both from a qualitative perspective and maybe a financial perspective. What frameworks should I be using? What protocols should I be following? Right?
All right.
It's more a practitioner's question. So
right. I got your point. Yeah. But what my viewpoint is, look, there is no point now to follow the CDP. It can be a guiding principle for you to prepare, but as the international community itself in ISSB, if you check, the CDP points will also get covered into ISSB. So this is somewhat comprehensive.
Correct. Okay, right. I'll go read up on that. I'll go read up on that. Thank you.
And I'll share this report with you as well. Okay.
Yes,
so that
please.
you can also check this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, right. So this was wonderful discussion. Thank you so much, everyone, for your active participation.
Yes.
Let's
thank you.
Connect next Saturday. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye.